Most empires fall because of weakness, but the Viltrum Empire became terrifying because it feared weakness more than anything else. And in this scene, we witness the exact moment fear turns into tyranny. Part 1. The Death of Emperor Argall. The scene begins with mourning. The death of Emperor Argall should have united the empire. Instead, it creates paranoia. The speech sounds respectful at first. Emperor Argall showed us our strength, taught us our greatness. But underneath those words, there's something darker growing, because the Viltrumites don't see betrayal as a mistake. They see it as contamination. And the moment the Grand Regent says, "There is a sickness in our society," everything changes. Part 2. The Empire's true nature. This is where the Viltrum Empire reveals what it truly believes. Strength is purity. Weakness is disease. That's why the Grand Regent calls betrayal a cancer. Not rebellion, not disagreement, cancer. And history has shown us something terrifying. When leaders start describing people as diseases, violence becomes easier to justify. Because now the enemy isn't human anymore. They become something that must be removed, purged, destroyed. Part 3. The most disturbing moment. The scariest part of this scene isn't the threats, it's the silence. Nobody argues, nobody questions him, because fear already controls everyone in the room. When he asks, "You might also betray us someday?" it feels less like a question and more like a death sentence waiting to happen. And the response says everything about Viltrumite culture. People obey because they're terrified, not because they believe in justice. That's why the atmosphere feels so cold. The Empire doesn't run on loyalty anymore. It runs on fear. Part 4. Seek out the weakness. Then comes the most dangerous line in the entire scene. Seek out the weakness that allowed this betrayal and purge it from our midst. That command changes the future of the Empire forever. Because now the Viltrumites aren't just hunting traitors, they're hunting weakness itself. And once a society becomes obsessed with purity, it starts destroying its own people. That's the tragedy of the Viltrum Empire. Its greatest strength becomes the very thing that corrupts it. Part 5. The human moment. And then comes the single word that changes the mood completely. Human. That one word feels almost insulting to them, because to the Viltrumites, humanity represents weakness, emotion, compassion, mercy, everything their empire rejects. And that's what makes this scene so disturbing. The Viltrumites became so obsessed with power, they lost the very thing that makes someone human. And that's why this scene is one of the darkest moments in Invincible. Because this isn't just the rise of a new ruler, it's the birth of fear-driven tyranny. An empire so obsessed with strength that it begins destroying itself from within.